All right, so here's what I want you to be able to know first of all, right? When you're setting goals, you want to have a formula, okay? And this is one of the systems, the simple system that I use. By the way, do not confuse simplicity for being simplistic, right? There's a quotation that says your success is in your simplicity. The simpler we can make it, and that's why also many people abandon their dreams and goals, because it is not simple enough, okay? If you need rocket science and a PhD to understand it, probably you're not going to stick with it because it's actually too difficult. So here is one of the things that I want you to do. Dr. Cooper, welcome. So here's what I do. I go with IPO. So you can write that down. What does that mean? IPO, we're going to break it down. Or ISR. So the I is for input plus process equals output. Alrighty? So input 1, so or A plus B equals C. So that is something that we're going to make sense of. We're going to put it in 3 columns in just a moment. I want you to just know the process. So input plus process equals output. Or we can say input plus system equals results. Alrighty, so that's ISR. So IPO, input plus process equals your output, or your input plus your systems gives you the results that you're looking for. So you cannot say that I'm going to achieve the goal, because that's where most people are, right? The resolution, that's the wish, that's the desire. You want an outcome, you want a result. But the reason why most people don't achieve the results is because the input is faulty or they don't have a system or process. Does that make sense? Because again, here I have a water bottle, okay? Now this is an output. This is an output or result. If I want this water bottle and I start putting in metals, aluminum, am I going to get this water bottle? Absolutely not. I cannot get this water bottle even though I have a good system or process, because I started with what? Faulty material, right? So if I want plastic, I must put what? Plastic in so I can get plastic out. Are we there? So if you put the good in, generally you get good out. Bad in, like they say, right? Garbage in, garbage out, that's kind of, you know, a good saying. But it also works on the other side, right? So bad in, bad out, good in, good out as well. So if you want better outcomes, you got to have better inputs. If you want better results, you got to have better inputs. But here's another thing though. What if I have the right plastic, the right material and everything like that, but I don't have a good system or process to create this? Because here's the thing. I can put plastic in to get this bottle, but if I'm using a system to create the dry erase marker, I would not get the water bottle, right? So again, those are 2 systems, but one system or one process creates the plastic dry erase marker, and another system or process produces the plastic bottle for this water. So that's what we're talking about. Whatever you're trying to achieve in any area of your life, be it finances, relationships, health, be it spirituality, faith, anything along those lines, you must have these 3 things lined up, okay? Who else is on here? Brother Serato, how you doing, man? That's one of my students right there. How you doing? Happy New Year to you. Good to have you on here. Alrighty? I should be seeing you guys in a few weeks. I hope you registered for the next class, by the way. So input plus process equals output, or input plus systems gives you results. So let's break it down now. We're going to get into how we're going to do it for our goals. I want to elaborate a little bit more on it. So let me know, does that make sense to you? If it does, Travis, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Makes sense? Okay. So now let's put it in action now. So we're going to do, I want you, if you have your sheet of paper or if you're on the electronic device, just kind of 3 columns, okay? So we're going to put 3 columns. 1, let's see if you, okay. 2, are you seeing here? This is too far off the screen, okay? And 3. Okay, so we can see those 3 lines on the screen there. Alrighty, so this is all freelance now, okay? So on this side, we're going to put input, and then we're going to put here system or process, And then over here is our outcome or results. Outcome or results. Now, we're going to start with this end because this is what most people are desiring, right? I need more money, I need better health, I need to be more committed or more disciplined, I need to be able to study, more of my word or read more of the word, whatever it may be. So these are where people focus on. So let's pick one area. Travis, give me an area where you think we want to focus on for results. Anything. Health, relationship, finances, anything along those lines.
I guess diet for starters.
So diet. So we want to be in better shape. Now, here's another thing when we set goals, right? That's another problem with the New Year's resolution. You don't want to just say, I want to be in shape or I want to lose weight. You want to be specific, right? So they say goals must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So those are SMART goals. So what we're going to say, so let's just say hypothetically, I want to lose 10 pounds. So we're going to say I want to lose 10 pounds, and we give it a deadline because we have to give it a time frame, okay? When we get to writing out our actual goals, this is going to be how we're going to do it. We're going to say specifics. Now, so I want to lose 10 pounds by when? So let's just say by March. So let's give it the first quarter because we're dealing in quarters. So by March the 30th, 2020. Okay, so this is the outcome that we're looking for in the health department. We want to lose 10 pounds in 90 days. So we have 90 days roughly, that's one quarter, to be able to lose this. Now, here's the thing now. What are we going to put in so we can get this on the outside? Okay, now, there are some things that some of us are going to have to do, and some people don't want to do it. So now, what are some inputs that you think we can put in to get that results that we're looking for? One is time. All righty? I know everybody wants to pop a pill, everybody wants to do that kind of stuff, but reality says that you have to do more than simply wish and hope. Let me put this over a little bit more that way. Okay? So we need to put in time. Is that a fair statement? We got to put in time. Some of us might need to put in a little money because money, because you might have to join a gym, for example. You might need some weight training equipment, some new clothes, running shoes if you're going to be running and different things like that. So you got to count the cost. What is the price you're willing to pay to get the outcome? Some people don't want to pay the price, and the price includes time. It includes your effort as well because you're going to have to get up and do the work. And most people don't like to do the work, and that's why success evades us. And then we blame God, we blame our friends, we blame family members, we didn't put in our personal effort. So now, I'm going to put in time, I'm going to put in money, okay? And the money is based on, okay, the system or the process that I'm about to use. But know that you need to put those in. So those can be, how about research? Maybe we might need to put in a little bit of time, but that's time too, but we might need to research. What is the best plan that can get me this? Some people want to do it fast, some want to do it slow. You have to know your body, for example. So we're going to say, I might have to spend some time online or read a few books to be able to figure out how to do this successfully. So that's what we say, you're going to put in some research time. Okay? So now we have at least 4 ingredients that we're going to put in that by and by we hope is going to give us this outcome. But here's the thing. If I spend a lot of time, I might get it, but what system am I using to create that? So time, you don't just want to put in time and money, because a lot of people do that, right? We get the gym membership. I've done that too, by the way, right? Several times. You get the gym membership, and we never use the gym membership, right? So I'm spending money, but I'm not willing to put in the effort. Or I didn't have a good system. I went to the gym a few times. I tried it. It didn't work. And I said, that's it. And I quit my gym membership. So what can we put in here? So this is where now some people might want to use, for example, P90X. That's a system, right? Yeah, that's a system. T25 is another system that can help you to achieve this results because it has been proven. It has been tried. Now, not everyone might be able to accomplish this, but here's again, because we give ourselves 90 days, P90X might be a good system because that's 90 days, right? So If you follow that, chances are, but you have to what? Invest the money into it, invest the time, and you got to do the exercise, the effort, right? And that's where we get a lot of these diets and fads and so forth. By the way, for those who are local, Dr. Cooper is running a wellness program as well, right? I think it's a 12-week program. So we can put her stuff here, for example. Dr. Cooper Wellness Challenge, right? 12 weeks wellness challenge. And that's where other things, I mean, we got the Atkins diet.
Personal trainers.
South Beach diet, right? And what personal trainer is a good one.
Yeah.
I have found that's actually one of my secrets for everything. The shortcut is to get help. Mm-hmm. Get a trainer, get a coach, get a mentor. That's phenomenal. So I'm going to put that on there. Matter of fact, let's just put that on here right now. So we're going to put personal trainer. Okay. Now, does this make sense now? If I hire a personal trainer, I show up and put in the effort, and I'm using a system like one of these, don't you think that in 90 days I'm going to see some kind of results than if I did it on my own? Now, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to pay the personal trainer if I know the personal trainer has not been known to produce results. So I'm going to get a trainer who understands me, who have helped people like yourself achieve this. So for example, if you are very much overweight, you want to find somebody who has worked with a lot of people with your body type, for example, right? A person like me would be on the flip side. I'd be trying to not lose 10 pounds, but to gain 10 pounds. Okay, so I know that getting a trainer is one of the powerful things because they help to keep you consistent. Even when you don't want to put in the effort, they're going to motivate you, encourage, inspire you. And now this goal is more attainable. So there you have it, right? There you have it. Let's do one more. So that's a very good one, right? So just how you achieve your health goals rather than simply wishing for your weight loss, the weight to come off, or to get the physique of your dreams. Instead of just wishing it, this will be the way that you strategize and plan out. So let's just say another of your outcome is, well, everybody wants to say, maybe get out of debt this year. So let's do that one. So we want to get out of debt, build some wealth. So let's just say let's say you want to get rid of 3/4, let's say 5,000 apiece. So let's just say $15,000. Okay. So I want to be able to pay off, let's just say hypothetically, welcome Mrs. Smith, good evening, how are you? So let's just say hypothetically someone wants to be able to get out of debt, and it can be the reverse. You want to save $15,000, you want to be able to make $15,000. So we're just doing this as an exercise, and then we're going to get into our goals because I believe this is the best system that I have found, a shortcut, simplicity. Input plus process equals outcome, or input plus system or process equals result. This to me is one of the simplest things that you can do to achieve your goals in 2020 and beyond. So we just did an exercise of how you can lose weight by following this system. Now we're going to do another one in another area. So that's what I'm saying. You can set goal in any area of your life. Again, spiritual, physical, academics, it does not matter. This system works for all of those areas of life. So let's just sit down. I want to get out of debt 15,000 or make 15 or save 15,000. Now, that's the goal. What am I going to do to be able to make this a reality? So again, we go back to our input. What am I willing to put in to make this happen?
Find a stream of income.
Okay, maybe an extra stream of income, so extra job maybe, yeah. Right? Extra job or side hustle, if that's what the young folks call it now, side hustle, right? So we see a lot of people do that, right? Or maybe even using the internet, right? Online, you can use online, for example. So I'm willing to, but you might have to buy some software program if you're selling like T-shirts or something like that, whatever the case may be. So what else can we do? And I have to do some research. Research is always good. The reason I put that in there because it saves you some time and it helps you to be strategic. So you should always, no matter what you're trying to achieve, you should always do some research. Get online, type in YouTube, whatever, because YouTube actually, I'm sure if you type in YouTube or Google, how to get out of debt 15,000 or how to make 15, or how to save 15,000, I'm sure somebody has done a video on it already. Okay, now I may have to buy some what? Books, right? Software tools. What else I may have to do? Deny myself. Okay,
Yeah.
a lot of folks do that. Deny yourself. So in other words, I will have to cut back. That's what you have to put in. If you want to get out of debt, you got to cut back. So I might have to say, you know, I'm going to forego certain expenses or lifestyle privileges for a season so that I can achieve this goal if it's very important to me. So we might say, you know, limit my eating out. For example, if you eat out, and it doesn't mean you have to totally abandon everything that you enjoy, but it's like saying, if you eat out 5 times a week, maybe I'm just going to do it once, for example, or twice, okay? And, you know, and stop buying certain things. Maybe cancel. How about cancel certain membership? All right? So those are things where I'm saying count the cost. In other words, you have to always ask yourself, what am I willing to do to achieve this goal? What am I putting in? Because it's not going to happen by itself. That's not how God works. God is a God of order. Scripture says God is a God of order. And so he expects us to follow principles. That's what we call practical living, practical faith. Because many times, for example, if I pray for this $15,000 to be gone or to make it, and I fold my hands and do nothing, then it's wishful thinking. I'm wishing and hoping that something will happen, but I have not created the opportunities for it to happen. It means, therefore, I am what? Just looking for a handout. And those things, you know, you're going to wait a long time for the most part if you're just waiting on a handout. Now, it doesn't mean that God can't do that, but here's the thing. I guarantee you this. Someone else will have to do this work in order to bless you with this. So that's why, to me, sometimes it is unfair if we sit down and pray to God and hope for him to do something, and then somebody else is really doing it for us, because this 15,000, someone had to work for it, someone had to do the sweat equity over here so they can save it, and that's what we don't want to do. But they paid the price so we can have it. So that's why you want to be, that's why scripture says it's more blessed to give than to receive, because the one who is in the position of the blesser, right, is the one who have done this work, have learned the discipline, and has developed the character necessary to create outcomes. The one on the receiving end, of course, is still a blessing. Some of these things that are necessary for you to develop the character and personality that you need to become now what? A driven go-getter and so forth. Okay? Now, what system or process can we use in order to make this and get, well, we kind of answer 1 or 2 here, but here's what I'm going to say. For example, when it comes to getting out of debt, most people use a system, what we call Financial Peace University by Dave Ramsey. Okay, now we're going to be doing this, I think, in April at our church. Okay, Financial Peace. So if you're in the Rio Grande Valley and you want to get out of debt, we're going to be doing a 12-week, 12 to 16-week course by Dave Ramsey, and we're going to be just once a week for those of you who want to be able to get out of debt strategically. Now, this to me, Dave Ramsey system. Okay, there are multiple ways of getting out of debt. So we're doing this exercise. We're trying to get out of debt 15,000. Now, Dave Ramsey is more about cutting back and, you know, and so forth, limited. Now, that's good, but to me, that's the long process. To me, the easiest way to get out of debt is to make more money. Because here's the thing. If you pay $50 on this every single month, right, it's going to take you a long time to pay it off. Whereas if you did a side hustle, so this is where now, for a person like me, I would say you do some online business, right, or online marketing, meaning that you can, you know, like we said, sell T-shirts online, you know, do a garage sale, for example, right? Garage sale, what else can we do? Like actively engaging. So garage sale is stuff that people do to generate some quick cash as well. We can, like we said, get a second job.
Networking.
Right? Some folks do the networking, yeah. But that also sometimes requires some, if you do network marketing, you got to put in some money. We're trying to do these quick things that we don't have to take any more income out of our pocket, but what we can do to create. So there are many different ways, like we said. Another good ministry that you can follow if it is your dream to be more financially savvy, especially those from the faith-based community, I recommend Crown Financial Ministries. So it's crown.org, and then Compass compass1.org. Alrighty, so those two, for those of you who are on the faith-based community and you really truly want to get out of debt or manage your money, these three are generally the top three I recommend: Financial Peace University, Crown Financial Ministries, and Compass One. For those of you who are millennials, I teach a course online called Monetize Your Skills. So we're just going to call it MYS. Monetize Your Skills Academy. You can go to strategicsecrets.com and go and check this course out called Monetize Your Skills Academy. And that will show you 7 different ways or strategies to be able to make some extra income using primarily the internet, okay? Because that's the world that we live in now. So now you see the system here is working. Now it makes sense, right? Dave Ramsey, I know it's going to take me about 12 to 16 weeks to go through that, but then depending on how much debt you have to do the work. For me, again, I think the fastest way to either make more money or get out of debt is to simply go and create more income. That's the fastest way, folks, okay? Because most of us are just not disciplined. That's the problem. Because paying off debt is, we get tired. I've been paying on this thing for months and months and years, and it's not going anywhere. But I tell you, if you go out, let's just say, for example, this $15,000, if you were able to do a side job and you get what? Let's say an extra $1,000. In 15 months, it's gone. So we see now, instead of taking years to pay it off, now 15 months, you're done. Or what if you're able to do some extra things on, combination of multiple jobs or whatever, and you are able to net another $5,000. If you're able to net $5,000 a month extra, then guess what? In 3 months, the debt is gone, rather than taking months and years to be able to do so, okay? So that's cool. I think we got the system now, and now we're ready to actually write our own goals, okay? So I'm going to give you a chance now to be able to, again, if you don't have your notebook, a pen, or you don't have your iPad or whatever have you, to write your goals. This is where we're going to actually now physically, you're going to do the exercise as I am going to do mine as well. I told you. Have not written in my journal. I created a brand new journal just so I can go through this exercise with you as well. All right? So, bam, bam, bam. I hope you guys are getting it. I hope that served you. Again, I'm going to just leave up the formula a little bit for those who want to remember it. And again, it's IPO. Input plus process equals output. Or I plus S equals R. Input plus system equal results. What are you going to do? What system are you going to use? Now, let me touch base one more. Sorry, Travis. I'm a talker too, folks. I want to do one for my faith-based folks because, again, many of us, most of us on here are people of faith, Christian people. So let's just say you want to get, your spiritual life together. You want to be more disciplined this year. Again, this stuff works the very same way. So we can say on the outcome, I want to be, let's say I want to be more powerful for God. I want to be more spirit-filled, more anointed, and so forth. So that's what you're looking for. Same thing. What are you going to put in? You have to put time in with God on a daily basis. You got to say, I'm going to sacrifice some sleep so I can wake up earlier in order to commune at least for 1 hour, because the 5-minute thing is not going to work. If you're really trying to become more powerful in prayer, you're going to have to, and prayer, by the way, is a system or strategy. So that's one of the ways. System or strategy could be prayer. Journaling is another one. Okay. Again, I created this journal for you. If you want to go check it out, Make It Plain Devotional Journal. So having devotions is a system. How can we make this possible? Now, sweating a bit. So I'm going to show you this. For example, you get up in the morning. Here's one of the way I do it, okay? Because there are many ways. Nowadays, we use a lot of technology. So, but here's how I like to do it. I get up in the morning. You pray, of course, you ask God, you thank him for waking you up. Then I go to the Bible for a passage, for those of you who read devotional journals, or you can read the devotion for that day. But then you must meditate or think about it. Then I write, what lessons have I learned from this particular passage? Already, I love the Proverbs because they're practical. And I love Ecclesiastes, Deuteronomy, and so forth. I love those passages. So let's just say, like, for example, this morning I read from Deuteronomy 31 or 32. where Moses was actually instructing now. He's passing the baton to Joshua, and he's encouraging Joshua to be courageous, right? And then God also gives Joshua the same instruction that he is now responsible for taking the people over. Now, what I got from that is because, again, we are in a new year, so it symbolized to me, I say, how can I apply it now? I say, well, Moses represented the old year. Moses has to go off the scene before Joshua can take the lead. So sometimes if I keep holding on to the past, I can't go forward. So I have to let go. Even though Moses was great, Moses was a great leader, but Moses has to get out the way so that Joshua can lead. So that's what we're saying is that some of you want to go forward in 2020, but what's going to keep you back is baggage from 2019. So you got to let go of the baggage of the past and now go forward courageously, like Joshua, to lead your people or to lead yourself in the promised land. And so that's kind of what we're saying. So me now too, as a minister as well, one of actually a good friend of mine today sent a Facebook message, which is in line in the same kind of thing that I'm talking about. So I replied to him, for example, I believe that even our churches here needs to become more innovative, because we are trying to reach people today with outdated methods, Moses' method. When now today is the day of Joshua, as it were, so that's another application. So you see, my morning devotions impacted my thoughts for the rest of the day, because I even interpreted and saw this message, this text message, which had nothing to do with the Bible, but it was for me now to say the same thing. If we as a church are going to impact society and the community, because research is showing that church attendance is on the decline. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago when I did some predictions for 2020. That trend is going to continue. So churches today must innovate, and they must also stop using some outdated models, because people are not responding like they used to before. So we have to now use some of the stuff for the Joshua generation, because this generation, yes, they're on Facebook. That's why we're here live, for example, right? We got to begin to use social media and digital marketing, because they're not responding. Like for me personally, as a millennial, whenever I receive something in the mail, for the most part, I throw it away. If it has nothing to do with me, for example, if it's not my mail, my wife's mail, or something for my son, I just throw it away. But if I see the same ad on my phone, on my iPad, I'm going to click on it. Right. Why? Because that's how we are interacting. So if churches only rely, I'm not saying you're going to throw away everything, but I'm just showing you as an example of how the text that I study can come alive in your life. I must begin to say, let's throw away with some of the old stuff that's not working anymore, and let's embrace some of the new ways of reaching people and impacting the world. Okay? So, voila. There we go. Next phase now. All ready? You ready, Travis?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to be specific now. Remember we said our goals must be very specific. So what I'm going to do, you're going to begin this exercise. I'm going to give you about 1 minute to 1 to 2 minutes, and I want you to write as many goals as possible in any area of your life. But as an exercise after the training and maybe for the rest of the weekend, I would actually like you to do 100 goals. By the way, right here, for those of you who if you have this journal, so it says my top 100 life goals and dreams. So we're not going to do all 100 now, of course, because we don't have time. So what I would like you to do is to write at least 10 goals and dreams for your life. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about 2020 for right now. I'm just talking about life dream. Pastor Dutra, welcome, welcome. So I want you to write 10 goals or 10 dreams and desires that you have for your life. So go ahead, clock is ticking. So I'm going to do the same, because like I said, this is my new journal for the year, and I have not written it in it yet, okay? So I'm doing this exercise live with you. So for those of you who just came on, if you're watching the replay, this is live, by the way, right now, okay? It is 7:55 Central Time. So we are writing 10 goals that we want in our lives. Remember, it should be specific, not I want to lose weight. It should be I want to lose 20 pounds by this XYZ date. Not just I want to make more money. It should be I want to be able to make an extra whatever, put the exact amount and by what date. If it's to become debt-free, I want to be out of debt by, or I want to pay off these credit cards or these student loans by X, Y, and Z date. Okay? I want to start a new business. I want to start a new ministry by such and such date. So try to be as specific as you can. So 10 goals, that's it. Let's go. So I'm writing my 10 right now. I wish I had some music, so that way those who are coming on, they're not thinking, hey, what's going on? It's silent over there. No, we are doing exercises. Remember, we said this is live. We are doing this thing together. We're not putting it off. I don't want you to just listen and hear, right? We're utilizing all of our faculties. So we are hearing, we are seeing, and now we put the kinesthetic together. We're actually doing the writing. If you're on your, device, your digital device, that is fine as well. Okay. Okay, time is up. Alrighty, so you should have right now at least 10 goals that you want to achieve in your life overall, okay? Can be, again, in the area of health, spirituality, finances, mental, emotional, relational, career-wise, academics. You want to be able to, for example, finish a degree, go back to school, whatever it may be, become this, professional. So you want to name that profession. But remember, you got your exercise though after this. So make a little note. Before the weekend is out, I want to come up with 100 life goals and dreams, and it can be anything. Okay. So this is no holds bar now. This is not what your mama wants, your daddy wants, your wife, husband wants. This is what you want. This is what God has been putting in your heart. These are the things that you pray about. And so it can be absolutely anything. I know, for example, like I'm just giving you examples so you can see it's not only like, oh, it has to be, some serious thing. But for example, I have here, see Bali and see Dubai. Now, I've traveled to over 26 different countries, but I've never been to Bali. Bali is Indonesia, and I've never been to Dubai. But those are things that I have on my dream list to still do, right? So it can be called a bucket list. Some people call it that as well. And then we have also here, so different things like that, okay? Fly in a fighter jet. Now, I was in the Navy, I was in the military, but I never went in a fighter jet. And also, even though I was in the Navy, I never rode on a submarine, so that's also still something that I want to do, okay? So I'm just sharing with you, for example, my dreams and goals, like you might say, oh, Chance, I only want to do these kind of serious things that we know about. Yeah, I have those as well, but the reality is these are some personal things that I say, God, you give me the strength, you give me the desire, I want to be able to go and make this happen, okay? So there you go. Now, once you have 100 goals, well, you have 10 tonight. We want to break it down now. So here's what you're going to do next now. Out of those 10 goals, because we only did 10 tonight, but if you did the 100, you want to say now, what are my key goals in 2020? What are the top things I want to do in 2020? Write 5 things. So out of that big list, you want to write 5, or if you have some others, you can create some others, but you want to write down 5 specific things I want to accomplish in 2020. So by December 31st, I want to have accomplished these things. Remember, use specific language. I want to get married by December 31st or by summer. I want to be able to finish this degree. I want to be able to pay off this credit card of this and the X, Y, and Z amount by this and so forth date. So 5 things you want to accomplish in 2020. Okay, so stop. Already, I hope you have 5. And so I'm just being transparent so I can share with you again, and I did, right? Okay, I don't want you to see all my business, but and first exercise of 10, I also have 10 there to get started as well with you. Okay, so of course I'm going to fill it out, and like I shared with you on yesterday, I spent the entire day or 29 pages of material working out my vision for the year. So I'm just doing this with you live so you can see what it takes to actually create your best year. So here are some things that I have, okay? I want to be able to publish by the end of the year. I want to be able to publish 4 brand new books, okay? Lion Mood, welcome my brother. Good to have you here. How is everything going on your neck of the woods? So that's one of the things I have also here. As far as family, I have to visit the Creation Museum in Kentucky, which we're going to be doing in the summer. So we have a system and a process to do that as well, and it's also a timeline. So that's going to be during our vacation. So we're going to be traveling during the month of June specifically. So that's my wife's birthday. That's my anniversary. That's we have a pastors convention, national pastors convention, and so it's going to be in Kentucky. And guess what? Creation Museum is also there. I have never been, and so I find that this is a good time to be able to do it with my family. So that's a goal. That's the vision. And we have a timeline. We know specifically when we're going to be able to do it. So what are some of your goals that you have? Already, I don't know. You want to share one that you have?
I'm working on writing a novel.
Writing a novel? Okay, good. You have a name for it yet, or you still working on that?
There's some pending names.
Okay.
Something like the syntax or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you started yet? You started?
I only have the plot.
Good.
Yeah, just the plot.
Well, you're making progress.
I have the plot fleshed out. I've been doing some research on literary theory.
Okay.
So I've been reading some books on how to construct the book and stuff like that. And I haven't started off with anything big on the body or the intro or anything.
Okay.
Just the plot's just put there so far. That's all I have.
Good. So that's a good thing. So, but again, so put a deadline on it and say, I'm going to achieve this by X, Y, and Z date. I'm going to write my novel. If you have the name, or you can just have a plain name for now. We can change it. And then, so I want to get it done by that. That's good, man. And so looking forward to read your novel. Hope it will be a great success. You never know. These things become movies and stuff like that, right? Okay. Already? Yes, Happy New Year to you, my brother. Already? All right, let's move on now. So now we have a big picture, and now we're making it now more concrete. So here's the thing now. In this quarter, so now we say, I have these dream goals for my life. Now I have these goals for 2020. But what do you want to do in the first quarter? Businesses do their stuff in quarters, right? So we have quarterly reports. I set my goals by quarters as well. But I do it a little bit different. Instead of doing it every 90 days, I do every 100 days, okay? So, but nonetheless, each quarter, we want to be able to get this done. So here's what you're going to do now. So in first quarter, from January to March, what do you want to accomplish? So you want to write now at least 2 things that you're going to accomplish in the next quarter. Already? So there we go now. So January to March, you want to say what are you going to do or accomplish? And then we have April, the next quarter, or just the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So you kind of put them all together there. So you're just going to put out specific. All right. So to June, and then we have July to, is it? Yeah, June, July, August, September, and then October to December. So 4 quarters. Now, in those quarters, you're going to say specifically, I'm going to achieve X, Y, and Z in this quarter. So now you're not scattered all over the place or trying to do everything at once, because, again, you have to spread out. For example, we're doing the novel. If the goal of the novel is to be out by, let's say, December. So in other words, now we're going to divide it. If your stuff has 12 chapters, then that's 1 chapter a month. Make sense? Because it's easier that way. So that's 1 chapter a month. So that means by March, you should have a minimum of 3 chapters written and ready to go. Okay? You might have to do it a little faster because the last quarter is crunch time. So you don't want to be now, last quarter you only have 6 chapters, because we say the book is going to be what? Published, not still being written. So we now need to factor in maybe the last quarter. We can say now the book is going to be edited, is going to be designed, and ultimately published. So that's why you want to try now to say, if it has 12 chapters or 9 chapters, we fit them all in here. So that way now we leave the last quarter for bringing it smoothly into the finishing line. So that's, again, following a system. So there's systems of writing. You can check those out. So there are writing utensils or softwares like Scrivener and other things like that you can use. Check Grammarly, which is helpful for checking grammatical stuff and so forth. And there's some others that help you even with plots and these type of things.
Yeah.
So we will go look for one of those so we can speed up the process as well. Okay? So for those of you, again, if you're trying to lose 15 pounds, again, we can say that is a pound a quarter, for example, if you want, I mean, 5 pounds per quarter, for example, or if you're real aggressive, which, you know, you have to be careful on that. But let's say you want to do it in 90 days, then that means what? That's 5 pounds a month. Alrighty? So we can track those specifically. Alrighty? Now, once you have your quarterly goals, and now it's time to do it now, what one goal are you going to accomplish in the month of January? See, that's the key thing now. I need to accomplish one major goal in January. What are you going to do? So that way, January 31st, we said, I have accomplished this in line with my big goals. So that's kind of how you're breaking it down. And that's what this journal helps you to do as you're planning it out. So you see, we started with our big vision, our big dreams that we want to accomplish. So it doesn't matter if you're a pastor, if you're a business person, if you're a professional, it all follows the same thing. What is the church going to do? I share that again. In our place here, we actually, in our fellowship hall here. So we said in January, we have a series called Final Empire, right? In February, right, we have a relationship focus, relationship emphasis, right? That's the love month. And then also I'm going to be speaking at another church for 1 week. Then in March, we have another full-fledged series based on the book of Revelation. So that's what we're going to be studying, right? Revelation is called Discovering Revelation. So we already know what we're doing in the first quarter. Second quarter, we are dealing with now, like we said, our focus now is on stewardship. So we're going to be dealing with Financial Peace University. As we mentioned, that we want to make sure our folks are up on their financial game. So we're going to be doing in the second quarter, Financial Peace University. Then in the third quarter, our focus shifts now. We're going to be helping our families here become healthy. So notice the holistic approach, right? Here, we're dealing with spiritual health. Here now we're dealing with financial health. Here in the third quarter, we're dealing with our physical and emotional well-being. Okay, we're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about these different things. Then now, here we're going to bring it in. Now we're going to be talking about now more about professional life and career. So because now it's going to be like, you know, finishing off the year strong. So we're going to be talking about success strategies. We're going to be talking about success from a biblical perspective and these type of things on what are the biblical principles for achievements and these different types. So dealing primarily with, you know, the wisdom literature, okay, Ecclesiastes and Proverbs in particular. So that's it. That's an example where we said now, same thing. Whether you're a minister, that's how our church is structured for this year. We already have it mapped out on that level. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. So you have your one thing that you're going to be doing now for this month. I want you to make sure that you don't leave this workshop without doing that. What one thing will you achieve in the month of January that goes towards your goal? If you are in health or you're trying to lose weight, I know for certain you must have had your gym membership if you don't have one now, or if you're not going to use a gym. If you're going to be running, you must have bought a running shoes, for example, or join a running club or get you a trainer. If you don't do that by January, trust me, you're not probably going to make that happen in the first quarter. It's just that simple, right? So we're talking about, again, now, if you tell me you're going to be making more money and you don't have an extra job, you don't have an extra side hustle, and you're not paying down debt or something like that, you're not really serious about making this thing happen. If you tell me that your goal is to be able to, by June, to be able to get married and you're not engaged yet, then we have a little problem. Or if you're going to be getting married and you say you have 6 months and the wedding costs $6,000, well, I mean, weddings are more than that. Now, I'm just giving an example. Then that means by the end of January, you should have $1,000 saved up towards this wedding, right? That's the kind of stuff. Or you already scheduled with a marriage counselor to do your marriage counseling and stuff like that and whatnot. So, and by the way, if you're local, this year for our church, I hope we're going to have at least 1 or 2 weddings, because I've seen 2 of our members already got engaged. So I'm hoping to see you follow this system here. And so so whether it's me or some other minister, make sure that you get marriage counseling, all right? So that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Travis is laughing here. But that's really what it is, right? we trying to make this goal happen. We got, and not only that, but brides, you know, they love to make sure they look good in their wedding dress. So that's going to be the goal. I want to fit in my, you know, in my wedding dress. So I got to set that health goal. So maybe you're going to get on Dr. Cooper's program, get on that wellness program, which I plan to do myself. I do want to get on that personally. Okay, so that's it. Now, one last thing before we go now is this. Well, we have two more things to do, two more things. You have your yearly goals, you have your quarterly goals, and now you have your monthly goals. You're going to do that for each month, by the way. Because here's the thing, if you go to Walmart and it's February and they don't have anything out for Valentine's, guess what? You plan accordingly. I can guarantee you. Don't you notice that as soon as one season's finished, you go to the store, the store is transformed. Why is that? Because they plan what? In advance. That's what we talk about, strategy. Many of us, we are watching our life just happen instead of planning and organizing it. You have to organize yourself, folks. You cannot just sit back and hope and wish things to happen. You got to make a plan. Now, some folks don't like to plan, especially some of my very spiritual people. They say, you know, we shouldn't plan because God, is, you know, takes care of it all. Let me tell you something. God planned the world. He didn't just one day got it, you know, and say, let me go ahead and create this world. No, he didn't do that. He was organized. Everything. It says God is a God of order in the book of 1 Corinthians. Okay? So you have to be a planner. You have to be organized. Now we leave room for the Spirit. We leave room for God, of course, to move. That's what we do. Says Proverbs says, man plans his ways, right? But it's the God who directs the steps. So that's cool. But God, man has to do what? The planning. He has to do part of the planning. And even Jesus said, which one of you who are intending to go to battle does not first sit down and plan whether he can defeat his enemy with such and such amount of people or army or troops? So you see, that's organized. And he also said too, same thing in another parable, which one of you intending to build a house do not first sit down and be able to plan it out to see if he can build a house with such and such amount of money. So it's the same thing. We have to plan our lives. Every area of your life, by the way, you should plan. So I want you to follow this system. You're going to plan what? What are the areas of your life? Let me just give that to you here too. Well, I'll just talk it out now. So there are many different areas of our life, right? And you have to prioritize too, because we can, of course, we're not going to be able to do every single thing. So, for example, there's the spiritual, right? There's the physical. I will even put this separate, though the physical, you know, to me, you know, we have the mental and emotional, but today we really need a lot of emotional healing and emotional stability. So, physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, okay? Another one is number 4. Is lesser relational or social, right? That has to do with family relationships, love, and those type of things. Number 5, we have professional, which has to do with your career and academics and those type of things. And then we have number 6, I put this separate, your financial life, right? You got to plan all of those. So those are all the areas here. Let me put 7. I love, you know, have a perfect number here. So we're going to put mental here. The reason I put mental separate sometimes because, like I said, when we talk about health, most people are just trying to fix their body, but they don't fix their mind. And actually, the mind is the citadel of the body, and that's why we have a lot of issues. That's why many of us don't change our habits because we have not changed our minds. But that's a discussion for another day. So, spiritual, physical, mental and emotional, social, relational, professional, and financial. Do you have goals in each of those areas? You can now do these for the overall, the 100. The 100 goals that you write down, you want to write down all these areas, but you may not be able to do all of this in 1 year. So at least pick 1 or 2 or 3 of these areas that you're going to, that if you achieve them, it will have a ripple effect on the other areas. And I have found personally that if you improve, let's just say, for example, if you improve only your health, it spills over in your spiritual, it spills over in your physical. I mean, well, of course, that's physical. But your relationships as well, because you're happy, you have more energy and so forth. I've also found that if you improve your relationship, it too spills over in the other areas, because now when a person is in love and happy and joyful and less stressed, it also impacts their physical well-being and stuff like that. So if you absolutely don't know what to do or you're looking for a shortcut, I give you those. Work on your physical, financial, or relational. folks of faith, somebody might say, well, why didn't you mention spiritual? Well, you notice I wrote that first. That's a given. That's the foundation. That's the base. That should be the base, right? That should go without saying. You got to work on your spiritual every day. So, because I didn't mention it because my point is this. You're not going to function without the spiritual. So every day you got to be doing something. I'm saying these are the ones you can choose to do or not to do some of it. But you cannot, you have to do this spiritual every day if you're a person of faith, that is, okay? Now, weekly goals. So you have quarterly. You have monthly. And now you have your weekly goals. What are you going to do each week? And then daily goals. Already? Your daily goals. What are you going to do each day that will get you closer to the mark? And by the way, you can search online sample daily schedule. Successful people have a daily schedule. So right here in this book here, again, this journal, we have a sample schedule right here for you. Then you write down your ideal, you practice it. If it works, keep it. If not, then on the back side here, it gives you another opportunity to revise it, okay? So those are some of the things. So again, if you master your day, here's the thing. If you tell me what you do every day, I can predict the success you're going to have or the success that you're not having or the failure that you will have. Because your daily success is based on your daily activities, your daily routine. Success is what? Doing certain things in a certain way every single day. And likewise, failure is the same. If you don't do certain things, because that's how we develop habits, okay? So each day, if you're trying to lose the weight or get buff, you got to say, I'm going to the gym every day or 3 days a week, whatever. That should be on your daily calendar, okay? So you can't tell me I'm trying to, achieve whatever the outcome is, but it's not on your daily schedule or weekly schedule or monthly schedule. See, out of sight, out of mind. So that's why we are writing it down. So get a journal, get a notebook, get some kind of planner on your iPad, okay? Google has a lot of wonderful apps and so forth. Even if you just use a spreadsheet, you can use whatever. I am a tech person, but guess what? I love to write, okay? I have many, many journals, but I have to still write it even though I use technology because I find when I write, it's just a different thing that works in my brain. All right? So that's it. That's it. I think we spent enough time here. Here's the thing. If you have any questions or you need help, reach out to us, or we have a lot of resources on our website, strategicsecrets.com. Please share this. Many people can benefit from it. But the thing is, your goals and dreams for 2020, even though everybody have all this thing, Vision 2020, trust me, my friends, it's not going to happen if you don't have a system and a process, a good plan. If you're not willing to do the input, if you're not willing to make the sacrifice and the commitment, put in the time, the effort, the money, whatever the resources are necessary to achieve the outcome. See, the outcomes will take care of themselves. See, John Maxwell says, reap is automatic. It's the sowing that we have the problem. Even the Bible, that's a biblical principle. He says, if you sow, you shall reap. So you don't have to worry about reaping. But the quality of your reaping is determined by the quality or quantity of your sowing. So if you're reaping bad stuff, check what you're sowing, because the reaping is a reflection of the sowing. It's just that simple. So that's why we say you can't get away from the biblical stuff. So the Bible is clear. It says, he who sows sparingly, reaps sparingly. So if you want to reap a lot, he says, whoever sows bountifully also reaps what? Bountifully. You put a little effort in, you're going to get a little effort out. You put a lot of effort in, you're going to get more effort out this way. Same thing with investment. If you invest in the stock market, more money you invest is the greater the return on your investment. If you invest a little bit, you're going to have a little bit of return. It's a principle. It cannot fail. So you got to work the principles. And that's why we say God is not going to bypass his principles if we don't follow them. And that's what many of us are doing, because we're saying, God, I'm praying for a great outcome. And he's saying, but my friend, my son, you didn't do any sowing. How can you reap if you don't sow? I'm violating my own laws. So God cannot go against his own principles. So you have to follow the principles of God. And this is it right here. So this is the same thing. Sowing plus the, if you have the equipment, will give you the reaping. So that's another way of putting it. Input, that's sowing. Process, that's using machinery, agricultural machinery and different things. That helps you to get it done faster. Okay? And then you will reap by and by. but you must put in something. If you don't put anything in, you probably won't get anything out. So that's it. That's our vision strategies for 2020, my friends. May God richly bless you. I believe that you can accomplish great things. You just do these things, keep it simple, and trust me, you're going to watch your life become one of the best that you've ever been in 2020. Alrighty? So let me pray for you as we close out. Loving and eternal Father, I want to thank you for those who have watched this video or will watch the replay, those who are on here live. We pray that your spirit may be with them. Bless them, God, and give them wisdom, strategies, and insights in order to be able to accomplish whatever you put on their hearts in this new year. We also pray that, God, that you will connect them with other people who have the answers that they need, or those who can help them or coach them, mentor them, so that they can get better results, faster results. Most importantly, Lord, we pray that we will not forget you in all that we do. May we honor you and may we seek your strength, because you promise in your word in Jeremiah 33 verse 3 that if we call on you, Lord, if we seek you, you will show us great and mighty things that we do not know. James 1:5, you said if we don't have wisdom, we must ask and you will give it to us. So may you help us to do our part in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, folks, may God richly bless you. That's all I have. Any question again, leave it here. Share this with somebody. And again, do go to our website. Check out some of our resources. We have books, courses, and different things like that there at strategicsecrets.com.